Does it tell
I
you
think
what's-
I think it's recording. Yeah, and like it's counting down.
And
Cool.
would it be counting up?
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
The Pilot, Season 1, Episode 1. How many shows get past the pilot episode, boys? Not many. Yeah, a few.
Couple. I don't know, all the ones that are on TV.
Well, we're aiming for just slightly above that cut line. Hi, everyone. Thanks for checking out the Draft in Hand podcast. My name is Greg. That's Ian.
Yo.
And that's Mark. Yep.
Oh, hi.
And, well, the first episode's probably the worst one, right? So let's set the bar nice and low, right near the bottom of the barrel. You know that last sip of beer right before you get to the foam at the bottom? It's always the warmest, kind of got some foam mixed in there. Yeah, that's our wheelhouse. We're aiming right around there. And
Mark throws out his beer at that point.
yeah, exactly. And we'll see if we maybe
When it's
can't
right at the
surprise
bottom of the
ourselves a
can.
bit.
Yeah, because... Yeah.
Speaking of warm beer, we're starting off with the most basic
in
of
this time of
Canadian
year, it's cold
sports
now.
conversations. How can't we? You, dear listener, have seen the title of this episode, so you already know that we'll be picking the draft in hand version of Team Canada, men's hockey. And at the end of the show, I'll tell you why this topic is specifically important to the three of us. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So 2016. So the World Cup of Hockey was in 2016. The tournament was hosted in Toronto with 8 teams. I believe the NHL's plan was to host it every 4 years, just like the Olympics. Actually, the whole underlying goal was basically to give the Olympics the middle finger, right? Like, we don't need your tournament, so we're just going to do this ourselves until you give us what we want.
Was that at the point where they already canceled
I think so, yeah.
Olympics?
Yes. Yes. So
Yeah.
in 2020, we were due to have another World Cup of Hockey style tournament. So as of December 2020, we're putting together Canada's men's hockey team. So how good is this team going to be?
I don't know, probably really good. Let's
yeah,
be honest.
it's Team Canada.
You
It's
load up a
obviously
team
going
like
to be
this in
amazing.
NHL, it's going to be 99 overall.
Probably pretty good. So, well, how does this team compare to? So in Vancouver, they won gold, and Sochi gold, and that tournament in 2016, it was the World Cup of Hockey. Team Canada won. So I mean, the bar's first place or nothing.
They didn't win gold in Sochi.
Yeah, he already said that. He said Sochi.
Didn't they win? Last Winter Olympics, freaking Russia won gold.
That was the non
fake
that was the
Olympics.
non-NHL
That
players.
was, yeah.
That wasn't Sochi. That was Seoul in South Korea.
Yeah.
Sochi
Yeah.
was in Russia in 2014.
Yeah, so the last Olympics, Russia won. The one before that, Canada won.
Yeah, but that one
That one
the
doesn't
last
count?
one doesn't count.
That
There was
one
no
doesn't
NHL
count.
players there.
Yeah,
Just correcting
those
you, Greg, sorry.
2018. Okay, so let's get through the list. What do you guys got? Let's start. Hold on. So let's start with. We're gonna just start with forwards. We're gonna do our forwards group first, and then we'll sort of narrow that down to 13 players. Then we're gonna go and pick our defensemen. So we need 7 defensemen,
7.
and then we'll go goalies last, and then we're gonna do coaching staff.
Two
I think
or-
that'd be cool too.
2 or 3 goalies?
3 goalies. That's usually what they got at a team. So you know what? Instead of just picking a lot of these lists that you see on the internet
They're all gonna
and
be the same.
and everywhere else, very few of them give you. They just sort of pick an all-star team. So I kind of got a list of stuff that maybe some criteria as we're building the team. A lot of these check boxes are going to just be ticked off because these players are really good and they can. A
Do
lot of them,
everything.
a lot of them can do everything. But here are just some sort of check boxes, just so as we go along, it's like, hey, here's kind of what
We're basing this off of.
exactly. So hopefully we have 6 guys who can play center. I think we're gonna tick that off pretty quick. But like, if we're building a
Are we
team,
going to have guys who play wing?
yeah. I think you want a couple. I think you want to make sure you have a couple centers that can shoot left and right just for face-off purposes. If the team really wants to be analytical about it, I think we're gonna check that box off too pretty quickly. But it's just make sure we have a couple centers that can shoot either way. Like, I think we want to make sure we have 4 guys that kill penalties on a regular basis in the
Well,
National
you
Hockey
already
League.
said most players will be able to do everything. everything.
Exactly.
It's just who you think are the best ones.
And for defensemen, I think you want to have at least
Do what they did last time in the World Cup and just
a couple defensemen that shoot left and shoot right,
yeah.
just to keep everyone happy. If not 3, but at least 2. And then, I mean, we're going to have 2 power play quarterbacks in here for sure. They're all probably going to be able to run the power play, but
Well, if McDavid's on the ice, you should just give him the puck and he'll just skate.
and then on defense as well, 4 guys that can
Do you
that
even-
kill penalties
do
on
you
a
even
regular
need
basis.
defensemen on the power play?
Yeah, you could run 5.
That would be something.
Yeah,
could
I
do
wouldn't be surprised if they did it.
Sure.
Running 5
Why not?
forwards. But like our defense are really good too, with like a nice shot back
You're
there.
doing that, going
But,
up against the Czech Republic, you're just like, go get him, boys.
You just think about it, like some of the guys here
It's almost
have,
mean.
have
Yeah, why not?
really good slap shots as a forward too.
Yeah.
And it's like, but at the same time, do you not want a defenseman on the ice
I
just in case?
mean, yeah. Let's not go
Maybe
super
it depends who
untraditional
they're
here.
playing.
Well, also we're picking the best in class defenseman too, so let's not take it away from that. We could put a couple of guys on the ice. We can put all defensemen on the ice, and it'd
Yeah,
just
you
still
could
be,
probably
defensemen
put
on
5
the
defense
power
on
play.
the
Yeah,
ice,
well,
like power
I'd
play.
still be really
defensemen
good.
On the power penalty kill.
oh my god, yeah, at once,
Yeah.
just to stir the pot a little bit. Okay, but let's not.
That would confuse the hell out of a team, I think.
Well, let's not take away how good some of these other countries are getting too. Like, it's not a walk in the park.
Yeah, it's not gonna be.
Like, one thing, and maybe this is for down the road, but when we were having this conversation, like I said, it was when we were going through maybe Team USA, we were like, wow, like Team USA is pretty good too. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get right down to it. Let's. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go around the table, and we're just going to, I don't know, just like you nominate a player, and then we'll just talk about him.
McDavid.
Start with forwards first. Ian wants to start with Connor McDavid. Some of you might have heard of him. He's a guy.
I met him once.
Oh yeah, you want
Yeah.
to give us a tell that story?
I think
Briefly?
I think I ruined his day at the exhibition because nobody really talked to him yet. And then me and my buddy were like, yo, it's Connor McDavid. And my buddy was like, hey, McDavid, can we get a picture?
Okay, this is
And
the Canadian National Exhibition, right, Mark? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he had this look on his face like, man, I have to do this, but I'm here with my girlfriend and my buddy, and I don't really want to do it. But
So he reluctantly agreed to take you a photo with you.
yeah,
Oh my! Was this like on the midway or something?
right in front of where Toronto FC plays, BMO Field.
Right in front of BMO Field. Wow.
Across where, remember
So-
the guy who sells all the hot tubs?
Yes.
Right before you get in to where, like,
Yeah,
the
right
kids
near
are- yeah.
Gate 4.
Yeah, right
kind of
there.
near the southwest corner of BMO Field. Yeah.
Then I shook the guy's hand and it like literally made mine disappear, and I was like, "Holy fuck, this guy's hand's huge."
So guy makes Team Canada based on his hand size.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
right before the World Cup, actually. I told
Oh,
him, "Good
really?
luck." Yeah,
So that was 4 years ago.
yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so I mean, listen, without a doubt, I don't think there's a single person that would disagree with putting Connor McDavid on
But
Team
I do
Canada.
hope I didn't ruin his day at the exhibition.
No, it was good luck. You gotta shake
Yeah.
it. You gotta shake your hand again before the next tournament. Yeah, that's why he played good, not because he's maybe the best player in the world.
Or was it? Yeah, it was because he was playing for the U21 team.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so how about this other guy who's also pretty good and recently has been in the conversation of quote unquote best player in the world? Nathan McKinnon.
Yep, he's gonna be there. Next.
Is he gonna play center or on the wing though?
That's a good question.
I have him playing on the wing on my team.
Oh, on Mark's team. On
Yeah.
Mark's team, he's
I
got
didn't
him
even
playing on
I
the
didn't
wing.
even do left rights. I just like wrote down a bunch of guys. It's like we can have
Just a bunch of
4 centers
randoms,
on
eh?
one
Just a bunch
line.
of random guys. Okay, well, so that was pretty. I mean,
thought about him having playing center because he centers like one of the best lines in the entire fucking league with Rantanen and Landeskog. So you know he could quarterback his own line.
he can.
You'd start to
drive
have
play
to
for
look at
sure.
like face-off percentage after that, or
That's-
even
well, That's
match.
basically what I came down to with my centers.
But like even a match, like if he's out there as a right-handed and you have a left-handed or whatever,
Yeah, or he's just McKinnon and he's fucking good.
Yeah, or that.
next guy is probably pretty obvious too.
Yeah, Mark, who's up next?
I don't know. Who am I nominating? Crosby, I guess.
Wow, that's a
I
guy.
know I'm reluctant to say it.
Reluctant
Reluctant?
to nominate Sidney Crosby.
As a Philly fan,
Yeah, as a
obviously.
Flyers
Okay.
fan.
That sounds
As a-
about right.
As a Canadian, I have to respect how good he is.
So, but I mean, that would be. I mean, let's be honest. So I feel like that's sort of a bit of a conversation. Like that's the team right there. There you
You could
go.
have two teams. You could be on the B team and be captain for that one.
He's
Oh,
probably gonna
man.
be the captain on this one.
So I mean, I don't want to put. I feel like putting lines together at this point. That's if we're taking the role of GM, if we're putting the team together, it's not our job to put lines together, but it's our job to sort of
But you gotta
have
a
line
vision. You gotta
combinations,
have a vision, in
have
your
a vision
head.
of what the
Like,
combinations
your
could
team is
be.
in your head. That's what I did mine by.
So how
That's the only
how
reason one guy made my team.
how incredible is Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, and Sidney Crosby down the middle? So
I'd have one of them not probably playing center.
how about okay, think of this idea though. So okay, McDavid's your top line. McDavid's your top line. McKinnon's your second line. Your checking line, your third checking line, quote unquote, is Crosby. You're going to
Yeah.
check him as he's cycling
I have
in your
Crosby-
end.
I have Crosby centering a second line, but any line you play against Crosby, you're going to be checking against him anyway.
Yeah.
So
So you can
doesn't matter where he is.
Crosby go shut down the other team's top line, but you're just going to do it in their own zone anyway. So go nuts.
Go nuts.
Okay, Ian. Hey, so I think those guys are locks. Like those guys are going to be on every team, any team. I don't know if we need to keep talking about how great they are, although we can.
Next guy for me.
Yeah, who's next on your list?
Oh, well, my list's all over the place. We've only done centers, so I'll go with a left wing. I got Marchand.
Oh yeah.
Brad Marchand. Yeah, he's on my team too.
I mean,
You can't really not.
how
He's had, what, like 90 points the last 3 seasons?
I think he's got the most points as a friggin' winger, Canadian winger in the last like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, over the past 3 seasons, he's
I
been
think-
on pace for 100 points.
Yeah, I think as a winger, he leads all Canadians in points.
Yeah.
Not if I don't know. If
That's
you
pretty
classify
impressive,
McKinnon as a winger
considering
or
that
his career, but actually McKinnon hasn't really broken out since the last couple seasons, where Marchand's been flirting with 100 points the
yeah,
last 3,
when
4,
when was it that Taylor Hall won that Hart?
2
That-
years ago.
That's when McKinnon really broke out, I
Yeah,
think.
2 years ago.
Right.
Well,
But-
2.5 now because it's technically like almost half an NHL season.
And for the reputation that Marchand has, people forget like he's hitting the century mark on a regular basis over the past like few years now. That's incredible.
And one of the things that you didn't talk about was or no, you did bring it
Penalty
up.
killing
He's
ability?
he's gonna be
he leads the league
penalty
in
killing.
shorthanded goals, I think, the last 3 years as well.
Wouldn't be surprised.
All right, yeah, you know what? I don't think there's any complaints there. That's, I mean, there's another guy that's solidly on the team, and like we want to put our own squad together, not rely on everyone else's. But I don't think that's a guy that anyone would really miss. He's a can't miss.
No, and
Option.
he proved himself. with the
Most
World
of
Cup
these
tournament 4 years
first
ago
guys
as
are going to be
well.
can't misses, so we could probably speed that
Okay,
up.
so let's go. I'll go opposite side. How about Stone?
Yep,
Yeah, Stone's a lock on my team.
Stone does everything well. He's
great two-way player.
does everything
Penalty
great.
kills, and he flirts with 80 points a year.
Usually.
Yeah,
and he's a right winger.
Yeah, and he's
How-
a right winger.
How many of those do we have?
Probably one more.
we have a few,
Couple.
but I mean, he's a Selke Trophy runner-up and takeaway machine.
Yep.
Like he'll just almost toys with guys
Oh,
defensively.
did I show you guys that friggin' YouTube clip of Stone? It's like a 5-minute YouTube clip just from the playoffs of him. I think it's from the playoffs of him just stripping guys.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, I think
Absolutely. I have more I'm more entertained watching those YouTube clips than guys scoring goals because we've seen like every goal happen. Like
Right.
unless you haven't seen it before, you're not really like ooh.
Yeah, you can say, "Oh, that was a disgusting
Yeah,
goal," but
when
like,
you see takeaways he's doing, it's like he's got one hand on his stick and the guy's clearly gone, and he like gets his backhand toe on it and like pulls it back through the guy's legs.
looks like Datsuk.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
do you think you can dig that
He just
video
can't
up?
skate like Datsuk.
Maybe you can post that on Twitter
Yeah, I
on
could
the
look
Draft
for
in
it
Hand Twitter
somewhere.
one. That'd be a good one.
He just
to-
can't skate like Datsuk.
Yeah. Well,
Well, not many guys can.
so there's a right wing.
I think we're all agreeing that Mark Stone's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mark,
Also
I think.
trying to get his hockey card in Hut.
Before he went to Vegas, people might not have looked at him just because he was playing on shitty Ottawa.
Well, he was considered one of the most underrated players when he was on Ottawa.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. I think you're up. You're up next here, bud.
On my team, I had a fourth on my list as a lock is Jonathan Huberdeau.
Jonathan Huberdeau.
Another left winger.
I probably
Who
should
has
have.
almost hit the century club the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, on pace for 92 points the past couple of seasons here.
Yeah.
I should
Kinda
have
out
said
of
him
nowhere,
before.
Too. Quiet on a team with Barkov in Florida.
Well, he's a guy you don't hear a lot about just because of the market he plays in.
Yeah, he plays on Florida.
Plays on Florida.
Yeah.
He was a big deal when he was on the juniors, though. If you guys
his
remember
name
that.
is kind of long and it's easy to remember, but it's kind of hard to say.
It's-
So like,
Well,
His
just
name
call
is
it-
hard and is cumbersome to
Yeah.
remember.
We'll just call him Jonathan then.
Jonathan. Well, yeah, okay. Let's put him. Is he a lock?
Oh yeah.
Is he a lock?
he's a lock on my team. I have him on the playing my first line. My first line's been set. My first line on my team candidate is McDavid, centering Huberdeau and McKinnon.
I guess that's an okay line.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, Ian, where are you going to take us next year?
My next guy, I want to bring up Braden Point.
Okay. Yeah, he's won a trophy recently.
Is the Stanley Cup or the
Yeah.
Conn Smythe?
Oh, the big shiny one.
Who won the Conn Smythe? Was that Kucherov?
Kucherov won it
Good
this
job,
year.
yeah.
But the Point was right behind him.
Point was he
He
was
was up there with him.
in
They-
the
I
conversation.
think they were 1 point apart in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on, I got it right here. So in
Didn't Point miss a few games though, injured?
I don't think so.
Yes, he
Ooh,
definitely
did
missed
he?
one.
Well, in 23 games, he had 14 goals, 33 points
That's insane.
inside the bubble. So that was this playoff that just passed. You know what? Okay, and for that,
Kind of
and,
glad the Flyers didn't get it to the conference finals. Jeez.
and let's tick off our checkbox because he's killed penalties in the past. Like he's killed penalties like recently. Not a lot this past season, but in the previous 2, I guess he didn't have that top line or top 2 center role. I guess,
Well-
and he had him
Well,
killing
the thing
penalties.
is, you don't want to wear them out too
Well,
much.
no,
Like,
exactly.
They were decimated with injuries earlier in the season too, or something.
You know what the impressive part about
And you don't want to wear them out on ice time.
You know what the impressive part about Points stats are for this year? I don't think he had a lot of power play time. Just in general. Like he didn't have a lot of power play points.
I don't know. I could check that.
I was just looking I was looking through his fantasy numbers and I'm like, this guy put up a lot of regular, like even strength points.
Does that mean he was the 4th assist on the goals then?
On the
On Hedman or Kucherov or Stamkos or
Possibly.
yeah, I guess so. Okay. So all right, Braden Point, what do you guys think? Is he a lock or is he on
Oh, he's a lock for sure.
He's-
I
he
see
on a
him as
bubble?
lock.
No, he's a lock.
Wow.
There's-
Okay, we all got him on our squads. This is
probably-
gonna
yeah, he'd either be first or second line in my mind.
Sure. I mean, he could probably play wing too.
Well, Stamkos is on the team. He's
Right-handed
playing on
shot?
the line with friggin' Stamkos.
Yeah, that's what.
You want to talk about Stamkos
that's-
next?
Yeah, might as well
If you
just throw
want.
Stamp.
All right, we're going with both.
As long as he's healthy, man.
As long as he's healthy. Listen, if he can come in and have a 100% shooting percentage, just like he did in the playoffs, I would be okay with that.
Oh yeah, where he friggin' tore his abdomen.
Yeah. So Steven,
Friggin-
just every shot you take, score,
Just
and that's
score.
a pretty good average.
And
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that you could throw on the point on the power play easily.
Sure.
He's got a hell of a one-timer.
Yeah, he's a career point per game player. Every season since 2009, he's been a point per game player.
Yeah, last year
He's
he
just
was on
been injury riddled.
he was
Yep.
on a third pace last year for points.
And I don't.
Before he got
Do
injured.
people like? I feel like do people forget he's a
60 goal scorer?
and a 7-time All-Star? Like how good he is. I feel like maybe with his injuries, I feel like the conversation with him is sort of tailed off. Like he's not quite the goal scoring machine that people just don't talk about him the same way. Maybe because
But he's still the same.
he's still just as good.
He's still just as good. I
but-
read that. I think it's something in that like Ovechkin Island area.
Mhm.
Friggin' apparently he scored more goals than Ovechkin right there recently. Stamkos has in terms of like one timers in that circle, or he's got a better shooting percentage actually. I think
So from Ovechkin Island
I think Stamkos has got a greater shooting percentage.
than Ovechkin.
Well, Ovechkin has probably a higher shot rate there, so it's probably lower. Is just based on the amount of times he shoots.
But just you're talking about percentage. You're
Yeah.
talking about ratio.
Yeah, just as a ratio.
That's
Kind of
not-
might be cherry picking a stat. But
So it's Stamkos Island.
no, I wouldn't call it Stamkos Island. Ovechkin's got like.
It's his thing.
Pardon?
It's Ovechkin's thing.
Yeah.
That's like his.
Yeah,
that's-
it's still Ovechkin's island.
That's interesting. Okay.
When you're gonna break Gretzky's goal record, you're a fucking island.
Cool, man. All right. So okay. This is if we're constantly picking guys who are top of the list. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the list just to create a bit more conversation. How about that?
Oh, controversy.
How about so Stamkos, Point, Crosby, some of these guys we've talked about already. Marchand, they're all Stanley Cup champions. So we're going to go with another Stanley Cup champion, Jonathan Toews.
Oh yeah, he's on my team. I got him. He's a lock.
I don't have him as a lock. But I only had 11 guys as a lock as well on my team, and then I have a side pot to
Actually,
pull
he
from.
wasn't. Sorry, Ian.
Go.
He wasn't a lock at the start. I had a list of, because you have 13 forwards, so I had a list of 11 forwards that were locks.
Sure.
Same.
And then I had and then I had a list of probably 10 other forwards that were bubble players.
The conversation, guys.
And I argue with myself for probably friggin' couple bongs and a beer. I started drinking pretty early this morning. I argued with myself for like a good 45 minutes over who should be the next
Wow,
one.
that must have been quite the conversation.
Oh, it was pretty cool.
You should have recorded that too.
And then
Yeah.
after I watched some Taves highlights and where he just like every time he's got a Canada jersey on, he just dicks the competition. And he was also last year, it was one of like a little bit of resurgence year for him.
Yes.
He was on
Yeah.
pace. I think did he get 30 goals? I think he got
I
I think
want
he
to
was
say he did.
36
Yeah.
goals,
Yeah.
40 something
He
assists.
spiked last year.
I think he was
Yes.
almost 80
and
points, or he was over
very
80
good against Edmonton in that first round of the playoffs there.
this
In
year.
the bubble. Oh, he was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
And also, I didn't know he had as many points. Like, well, I knew he had the points, but points from last year as a Canadian, he was 16th
Yeah.
as a forward.
Car-
as a
Career
forward.
high 35 goals in 2018-19.
Yeah. And also, he checks off all the other lists where he's a power play specialist, and I think he's very good at killing penalties too for the Blackhawks.
I'm not sure how much.
I don't
penalty
think
kill
he'd get
time.
on the power play, but he could penalty kill for sure. And
Well-
he's great face-off percentage.
So-
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy, how many awards has this guy won? He's won the Conn Smythe. He's won the Selke. He won the Mark Messier for leadership. Literally, we could
Stanley Cup.
we could
gold
make
medals.
a podcast on. We could do an episode on what
Yeah.
John Tavares has won, or so not John
'Cause-
Tavares, Jonathan Taves.
Because
I'm
I
sorry,
had
Jonathan
like
Taves has
arguments
won.
for everybody, and then everybody on the list is like.
You're right. As soon as he puts on the
As
Team
soon
Canada
as he puts
jersey,
on the Team Canada, it's like Shane
Yeah.
Doan. Or Ryan Smith, those guys. As soon as they put that flag on, they're like, it's like playoff mode all over again.
And Taves also, even like regular season to playoffs, he's a different player.
Yeah.
Like he amps it up in the playoffs.
and here I am thinking that was going to be a bit more of a. Okay, all right. You know what? So
Oh, I legit.
There we
like,
go.
I friggin' argued with myself. for
He's
fucking
like
so
a
long
fourth
this morning.
line or even 13th
I was
guy,
pissed.
yeah,
but I think he's there.
he's the guy that Crosby didn't want to take the C away from.
Mhm.
So okay, Ian, I think you're up next here. Where are we going? Which direction are we taking?
Let's we'll go another winger, a right winger, Mitchell Marner.
Heard of him?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
It gets talked about a lot where we live.
He
90,
gets shit on a lot where we live.
94 points last year, and it was 18-19, and he was on pace for 93 before the.
Did he
before
get
the
injured this year
pandemic.
for a little
Yeah.
bit?
Probably similar stat line to Huberdeau as well.
You know what? Marner did this year. He was killing penalties pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Blocking
was
shots.
another
Yeah.
another guy.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing his feet get all fucked. Oh fuck, his feet probably
He
hurt
was
a lot
he was
after a couple games.
he was actually one of the reasons Taves wasn't an actual lock in my top 12.
Oh, so that was
Really?
like a
Why is that?
conversation
because
between
of
the two.
the penalty kill.
Ooh,
Oh.
okay.
Like I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even penalty kill guys before I even
Thought of Taves?
yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Damn. So what do you think? Is Marner on the bubble? Does he make the
No,
squad?
he's on my squad for sure.
Yeah, he's there. Especially if he
sure.
continues playing how he is.
Oh,
And he does not get injured often.
I give him that. Absolutely.
He didn't really perform great in the playoffs. We haven't really seen him much in that, but like we know he played well with London Knights, right? When they won the Memorial, didn't he?
Memorial? Yeah.
Sure. You know what? The thing with Junior though, is that sometimes you just outclass people.
Oh,
Yeah,
that team
that team
outclassed
outclassed
everybody.
everyone.
They had Dvorak and
Was it Dubois?
no, I think he's on another guy.
Oh, Kachuk.
Yeah, Kachuk.
Matthew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you're just a different class of junior hockey team at
All
that
three
point.
of those guys, well, Kachuk and Dvorak, I think, went both in the top 10 in their draft year.
Sure.
After the year after
Yeah.
Marner.
All right. Okay. I'm up. Let's go with Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, he's on my
I
team.
had him on. And again, penalty kill.
100%.
Right-handed center, probably one of the best face-off
Yeah,
guys
one
in
of the best
entire league.
face-off guys.
Hey, okay, I got a stat for you here. So
He had pretty good points this year, actually, I think.
Yeah, a lot of assists.
56%. Oh, he's been over 56% in the face-off circle over the past 5 seasons.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty
ridiculous.
pretty solid.
Insane.
It's like Yannick Perreault numbers.
Almost. I don't have his numbers in front of me.
Flashback.
Yeah,
Throwback. What day is it today?
Tuesday.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
it's garbage day.
Selke
Oh,
winner.
yeah, we heard it not that long ago.
Selke winner, Conn Smythe guy, another winner.
Cup.
We have there's a lot of Stanley Cup pedigree on this team.
Well, yeah, they're all Canadian.
Well, sure, but they're not just guys who like the first 2 guys we mentioned, and Marner, and there might be another guy on here, Huberdeau. Like all the rest of these guys have won cups this
Yeah,
past
but all
decade.
those kids, they all grew up winning, though. They know how to win.
They know how to win.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what Canada needs. Needs some winners.
Well,
Yeah, it's funny.
we
The
are
first
winners.
two
We're
guys,
Canadian.
we said
So is it my
haven't
turn?
won a cup.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Mark's up.
Yeah, no go.
I got Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, face off, penalty kill.
Yeah. I don't know.
Points.
Leaf fan and Bruins fans might not like this line, but since we already all confirmed that they're all playing on Team Canada, I have Bergeron centering Marchand and Marner.
Ooh.
That would
Yeah.
work. That
I
could
think
work.
that would be an absolutely
That's a disgusting
line.
shutdown line.
It's not even a shutdown line.
But it
That's
is.
So hold on. So you pry Bergeron and Marchand away from Crosby. You say, sorry, Sid, you got to deal with these other guys.
I got Crosby with Point and Stamkos.
Yeah, those guys are.
I
Okay.
guess that's an average line
Yeah.
too, eh? Yeah, that's they'll
That's
be
a-
all right.
That's
They'll
a
be
three
okay.
center line.
Who's taking the face off? Rock paper scissors, boys.
Yeah, I was just like, man, that'd be so fun. You literally got
Just the
two
rivalry
wingers
playing together.
that like. I think the way Marchand plays when he's not doing his antic stuff is so similar to Marner's skill set and the exact same way he plays. Like they're so similar on the ice with their hands and the way they like attack the net and attack people.
And make space from
they
themselves.
Exactly. They're two guys who are not afraid to attack any defenseman 1-on-1.
No.
And when you do that, you can get the puck through. You can create so much space. And,
Okay, boys.
And think about Bergeron just dishing to two sides there.
Oh, it's
my turn?
incredible. Well, hang up. So
Pasternak's usually the shooter. Though,
I got one guy on my thing.
So right now we have. I'm just gonna list them out again, just for you listening. If you're keeping track at home or in the car or wherever you are right now, we've basically that's 12 guys we've
We got one more.
We've got 12 guys. So we said Huberdeau, Marchand, O'Reilly, McDavid, Crosby, Point, Bergeron, Taves, McKinnon, Stone, Marner, and Stamkos.
We got
That's
one more.
12. We got room for one. We can sort of go around the boat and
Okay, this next guy I guarantee is probably on both your squads. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna say him.
Yeah.
Scheifele,
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
he's on mine.
another center. Does he penalty kill? I don't watch Winnipeg enough.
I don't.
No, he's
Think
right-handed
so.
though.
Right-handed center.
But he was also the
He's a good two-way.
fifth Canadian in points last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, over the past 4 seasons, he's been a point per game player.
Yeah.
2016 onwards, he's been a point
Also,
per game
center is
player.
one of the best. Well, he centers quite a few people in Winnipeg because
Yes.
there's been quite a cycle of wingers he's been with.
'Kay.
He usually plays wing with Wheeler though.
You know what really
With,
stands out for me? Maybe it's playing with a guy like
the
Blake
fact that
Wheeler.
he doesn't swear.
Well, there's that. So we've already broken that rule. Scheifele already shut this podcast. He's like, I'm not listening to these guys.
We can beep it out for you, Scheifele, if you want to
Frick.
watch it.
So over that time, over the past 4 seasons, you know what his shooting percentage has been?
Nope.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, take a guess.
12.1.
18.7.
Holy
That's for-
shit!
what?
How
He
many
has an
seasons?
8 over the past 4 seasons. So
How many shots does he average in a year?
I don't know, man. I'm
Don't
not
have
sure.
that stat.
We can look that up right now.
He
But
could be a fantasy god if he shot the puck more.
20 since 2016,
He
he
already
has an
kinda is,
18.7 shooting percentage. So he scores on 18.7% of the shots he
That's
takes.
close to 20. That's 1 in 5 shots.
Almost. Maybe he only shoots when the net's wide open. Maybe he only shoots when Blake Wheeler passes him into a wide open net,
Or Kyle Connor.
or that guy,
Patrick Laine.
or no, Patrick Line doesn't pass.
He had a lot of assists last year.
He had a lot of assists last year.
Yeah,
But
don't take
that's a
away from him.
ridiculous shooting percentage for a guy who's for a 13th forward. I mean, we haven't put lines together. We'll do that later, but
Well, he is my 13th forward on my team. Sorry.
Okay.
That was my team. We've gone through everyone that I had.
all right.
And
so
plus Taves sitting on the side.
here, okay. So I think
Who'd you have on your team? That's
I had 12 guys. I miscounted. I thought I had 11.
Ian's learning math on the fly here, boys. All right, I'm gonna nominate this guy, Sean Couturier.
Yeah. I got him on my side list.
He's on my bubble, but he won the
we've got
Selke, but he hasn't done anything more than any of the other guys have done that are on the team.
Yeah,
And
he
I'm a friggin' diehard Flyers fan.
hasn't won a cup. He's
Well,
won a Selkie.
He's won a Selke.
He's always in
nominated for a
contention.
Selke, but that's only in the last couple of years, and he's only finally put up points in the last, let's call it 3.5 seasons.
Sure.
Yeah, but we got guys that have only started putting up points in the last 3 seasons there.
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, we have guys that play his role already. Like we have Bergeron, we got O'Reilly.
Right. Yep.
Do we need we got Taves. Do we need a fourth?
The impressive stat that I pulled
Also,
from him.
you don't need another left-handed center.
Yeah.
So the impressive stat I pulled from him is he's again a 56% face-off winner in the past
he's a
4
monster.
seasons.
Him and
This
Giroux,
this season he was almost 60%.
Yeah, I know, dude. Him and Giroux play together on the same line. Giroux was around 60% this year. Whenever the
Crazy.
face-off, whatever side the face-off is in the zone, they just they
So
just change.
is this number skewed a little bit because
of
they're
that? Maybe.
they're playing
They're
they're
playing
winning
their-
face-offs to their strength.
They're playing their strong
Probably
side.
a little bit.
Maybe a little.
Probably, but he's also
He's
was
doing it,
also
though.
over 50%. You still have to win the draw.
You still have to win the
You
thing.
still have to win the draw.
Still got to win the thing.
But
Okay.
Yeah, because you could be strong side against strong side. You still got to win it.
yeah, but it also depends who you're playing too. Because like I don't know much about face-off like percentages like a righty. Because I'm a righty, I don't know what the better odds are who I'm up against to win a face-off. Like if I'm a better chances to win a straight back against a lefty or shit like that.
Yeah, what kind of play are you drawing up
Yeah,
here, right?
I never played hockey good enough to like know that or play center.
Who else is on your bubble?
My
Mark?
bubble?
Yeah.
Well, friggin' he's scored over 30 goals every season. He was on the Olympic team. I think he was on the World Cup team too. He plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. Sleeps in the pajamas.
Yeah.
John Tavares.
Yeah.
We can't. We can't actually. Did he? It was a Maple Leaf bed sheets. There was. I know that the joke was pajamas. He also has a Naboo Starfighter, one of the worst starfighters you could have picked. Like, come on,
But
it's
yeah,
terrible.
John Tavares.
Get your shit together, John Tavares.
He's probably
He
Naboo
he
Starfighter? Are you
probably
kidding me?
is going to be on the team just based on like being on the team previously.
but I don't know who
It's like who you take
He's
out.
a monster down low. Like his cycle game is incredible.
Yeah, you might take out a small guy to put him in just to
maybe Braden Point. That's the only one I could think of.
yeah,
'Cause
or Marner.
The only thing I don't like with my team is I got Stamkos and Point as two right-handed players
Mm-hmm.
playing on a line.
Okay.
And like it's the fact that like,
But they play on a line together in the NHL.
But-
like,
but Point plays center where Crosby's playing center here. But then you got two right-handed
well,
players
then
on the.
you can throw Crosby on a different line. Put Marner on the right wing.
Stamkos is still right wing,
Oh, but then you got 3 righties.
and then you got three righties in.
Oh,
I did trust me. Look. See, I had to I had another like team and list, and I was like, I had the Bergeron. Or where is it? It was I had something where it's 3 righties on a line
yeah,
together.
yeah. You had Point, Marchand, and Marner.
As long as they're not right-handed defensemen you're missing, no one's gonna freak out.
Honestly,
Yeah, but
if we're looking at it realistically, I know how good Stamkos is, but Tavares might make it over him.
Over Stamkos?
Yes,
Think
just
so?
just injury based. Like if Stamkos isn't
Oh,
healthy, if
right.
Stamkos is extremely healthy,
Yeah,
yes.
we're gonna assume everybody's healthy and in tip-top shape for this one. But you're right. Like, there's always the guy that's got something going on. So
yeah, he was second. He was my second guy in
Yeah.
my bubble.
anybody got another guy? I think we kind of got the gist of who. We
How
think
about
are-
you want to talk about?
I got a couple guys. I'll just shoot.
Yeah, let's
out.
do it. Yep.
Just Seguin and Ben from Dallas.
Yeah.
They played a great playoffs this year.
Okay,
They weren't
Sagan was
consistent.
broken, too, playing
Yeah,
for
he had
him
what
as well.
3 things.
Uh,
I think he's getting 3 surgeries. I
Something
yeah,
think I
like
read.
not just 3 boo boos, like 3 major
Yeah, major
things
surgeries.
going
They
on.
had
like
to choose
Bergeron-esque when
hip, shoulder, and
something.
something crazy.
something basically unimaginable. People aren't walking down the street with that sort of injuries. And for Jamie Benn, Mark, he had a great tournament back 10 years ago, 2010 in Vancouver. Who is he playing with in that tournament?
Well, his new best friend Corey Perry, who almost won a Stanley Cup with,
Right, yeah.
and Corey Perry's best friend Ryan Getzlaff.
And they were
They ran amok against Russia
They
in that
were
quarterfinal
incredible.
game.
they were incredible.
Yeah, was it a quarterfinal game? I think it was quarterfinal.
I feel like they were just too big for other teams to deal with out there.
Yeah.
Well, they were all 10 years. All 3 of those guys were 10 years younger, and they
Yeah,
probably cared a lot
and-
less about their body.
Well,
They
relatively
were
speaking.
freaking. Oh man. I
I
remember I had a game they were playing Russia that day, and everybody was so worried about playing the big Russian team with all these goal scorers. And I was like even boosting about that line at school, and I was like, man, these 3 guys are just gonna hit them everywhere. And I
Yeah.
think they got 2 goals. I know that line scored a goal that game, but I don't know if they got multiple.
I know they did really well.
But they definitely put Russia in their place.
And I mean,
was that in Sochi or was that in Vancouver?
That was in
I think that was
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Oh,
This is
okay.
10 years. This is a much younger Corey Perry, Jamie Benn, and Ryan Getzlaff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getzlaff probably still had a bit of hair.
Doubtful.
And Corey Perry could still probably skate without falling.
And so you mentioned Tyler Sagan. He was incredible. Like he can play. He
Yeah.
can still play.
He hasn't been.
I think he's been just injured a bunch the last few seasons, and
Yeah.
it got caught up to him in the longevity of this season. Because guys, I think when the guys were probably set up for maybe like surgeries and stuff like before COVID and shit like that, and it fucked their whole scheduling up for all that
yeah.
shit too.
That
not
could be
not
a
knowing
thing.
when they're gonna start back up or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just want to go around one more time, and we'll pick sort of like a couple guys that maybe next in line. So
Well,
I'll throw
Like
out a
down the
guy.
road?
I'll throw out a guy. How about Barzell?
Oh yeah, he could have. He's closer to the bubble than I think we think.
I think he's good enough. I think he's closer to making the team than being on the bubble. But we all know Hockey Canada is like an old boys club,
Yep.
and kind of like, what have you given me?
Okay.
And he hasn't really done enough yet.
Well, I mean, it's our squad. We can judge for that. He certainly was electric on the ice. So
Well,
in
he
the
gave me an
playoffs, yeah.
aneurysm every time he was on the fucking ice against the Flyers.
It was
Yeah.
him and one other guy that would. Who was the other guy on their team that you're like? These are the only 2 guys.
Eberle
Eberle.
was unreal too.
yeah, that Islanders Flyers series. He was noticeable almost every time he was
Every
on the
time
ice.
he touched the puck.
Drove the line.
Well,
Oh
even
my
even
God.
when Tampa pretty much
I
destroyed
don't think
Islanders.
he scored many goals against the Fly. I think he got 2 goals again in that Flyer series. But my God, he was fucking crazy.
Tampa
2, maybe more.
Tampa basically destroyed Islanders in the conference finals there, but Barzell was one of the only, I don't know, weapons or anything that Tampa had to worry about when he was out there.
Oh,
And
he's-
to do that in the playoffs, yeah.
especially against Tampa.
Anyone else you want to talk about?
I had Braden Shen.
Oh, okay.
I've liked his game the last few seasons.
Yeah.
He's
Ex-Flyer as well.
he's
Trading him did get
he's
us
been
Konechny, though.
pretty consistent, like 70-point-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. Does he play shutdown? Does he play penalty kill? I know he's a center.
He's their first line center, I think.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
So he's won a Stanley Cup.
Just won a cup.
Oh, no, second line center. They got freaking Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Mark, last up, one more guy.
No, not really.
Well, maybe Lafreniere. Depends how good he actually turns out to be.
Yeah. You know what? When they go out and pick the Olympic team in 2022, man, if he puts up 2 good seasons, if he's like 80 points plus, I think he has a real chance of being. He's a huge conversation piece. If he's sort of like that wrecking ball and goal scorer, point getter that people expect him to be.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. And from played for Rimouski, so we know there's been a couple people from Rimouski that have been okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Okay, so
Who's
let's.
from Rimouski?
Well, this guy named Sydney played for the Rimouski,
Greg.
so he
Thanks
played.
for letting me know.
Yeah, he played for them like a few years. I don't know. It was a while ago though.
Yeah.
It was a while. It was a
Too
few
bad he
years back.
lost to Corey Perry in the
Yeah. Oh well.
Memorial Cup.
Okay, so hey, so here's our list. So we came up with so we got McDavid, we got Crosby, we got Point, Bergeron, Taves, Huberdeau, Marchand, O'Reilly, McKinnon, Stone, Scheifele, Marner, Stamkos.
Yeah, me too.
That's 13.
Yep.
Yeah. And then okay, so of Tavares, Couturier, and Barzell, it seems like. I mean, if you had to pick sort of a next guy up, who is it?
Tavares.
Tavares, Barzell, and Couturier?
Tavares. We're talking about like 1 year from now.
Like right
Barzell,
now.
6 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah, Bart. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Tavares has done it. He's played big games. He's played internationally.
I'd probably take Couturier,
Yeah, as your next guy up.
but
Who's he replacing? That's the main thing.
yeah,
Oh, whoever's injured is basically the idea.
Yeah, I know.
If there's
but like,
somebody who,
if like say O'Reilly's injured, you take Couturier. If it's like
oh, I see what you're saying. So it's role dependent.
yeah,
It's plug and play.
Well, and you know that's how they're gonna pick
Probably.
the team off of a little more now than they did back in the day.
Remember, it's us. We're picking the team.
Yeah.
Our team.
Oh, our team.
It's our team.
Our team. I'm running this team. I am the captain now.
You are the general manager. You sit up there in the press box with your champagne
with
and popcorn,
my
smart food.
Bailey induced coffee.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so you know what? Let's circle back near the end of the show. We'll put some lines together, just throw them on the board. Let's go into defensemen. Let's talk about our defensemen. We got some pretty good defensemen to talk about here. I got a big list of guys that we can talk about. I think there might be more conversation here than in forwards, because forwards we seem to all agree with each other, and it's really exciting when we all agree.
Your forwards are all very good. All your forwards are going to score freaking goals.
Yes.
That's their job is.
Yeah,
to do.
and you know, most importantly, we
think
got a couple guys. We got a couple centers that shoot left and right, like we talked about. We have at least 4 of them that kill penalties, right?
More than that, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so they're my check boxes off the top that we took care of. Mark, do you wanna start off with defensemen? Do you want to throw a name out there?
Yeah, first on my list, I'm gonna go with Alex Pietrangelo.
Oh, okay.
That's first on my list.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
Yeah, Stanley Cup champion,
just
Stanley
signed
Cup
a
champion
nice
captain.
deal in Vegas.
He's
where
won a
Yes.
couple of
another
gold medals.
Team Canada defenseman could play on
They're
potentially.
potentially.
Oh.
You don't say. Well, I don't think we're gonna really talk about Pietrangelo very much because I'm pretty sure he's on all of our teams.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot.
I mean, World Cup. He was on the World Cup team in 2016. He won Olympic gold. I mean,
Was he 14? Was he on the 20? No, he wasn't on the 2010, but he was at Sochi, right? I'm pretty
yes.
sure he played with
Correct.
like Bo Meester at Sochi.
Correct. Yes, in 2014, he
Yeah,
he won
did.
a gold medal. 50-point pace the past 4 seasons, and I mean he's a constant 24 to 25 minute guy. Like, but at the same time,
You
we're gonna
know,
have a
You're
team
gonna,
full
you're
of
gonna
those.
have 7
exactly.
of them.
You
So-
won't need to play 24 minutes. You'll
No.
need to play 20 because you're gonna
I think we're pretty set on him. So Mark, hold on. We'll stay with you for a second. You were talking about a defensive guy who could.
potential pairing.
Yeah.
If it works.
Who
in
might
real
that
life.
be? Who might that be?
Shea Theodore.
Shea Theodore. That's a guy that.
That we don't get to watch a lot
No.
because he plays for Vegas and we have to go bed at half decent times here in the Eastern time zone.
That's right. So tell us about Shea Theodore.
I don't know. He's pretty good. He's drafted by the Ducks.
Yep.
Yeah. That's about it.
Well, I mean, he's such a big part to that team and why they've had such like incredible success out of the gate.
Yeah, for me, like it's more what caught me so quickly on him is like just eye test watching him. I'm not really like with your defensemen, you're not really infatuated with like they do point wise.
Right.
You just want them to get the puck out of the zone to the forwards and not fuck up in the zone and have the puck end up in the net.
And he's always been a great skater.
Exactly.
Like well above
That's probably
average.
the most important thing
Incredible.
as a defenseman now. It's
Yeah.
not about being big and bulky, which
Nope.
some of the defensemen that I pick on my team
Yeah,
are.
sure
kinda
they can
big,
be.
but they have to know how to skate now.
Ian, what do you think about Shea Theodore?
Yeah, I think I had him on my bubble, but I looked at him late.
Okay.
I think I wrote down before I even like started looking at defensemen.
Interesting.
Like I
okay.
just started writing names that I like.
Okay, so we'll put him on the bubble for now.
We could leave. Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
No.
But
I
he's-
did. honestly, after looking at his numbers, just thinking about it as well, it's like who does he have to play with on Vegas, other before Petrangelo got there?
Was he playing with Schmidt?
Schmidt or McNabb,
Yeah, they're not bad.
White
defense.
Cloud.
Oh, I don't know if he played with him regularly.
Was
I
White
mean,
Cloud a forward?
They had
No, White Cloud was your only right-handed defenseman.
Yeah.
No, they had that Vegas. The guy. Oh, I don't know. Fuck. I wish I paid more attention to Vegas. Every few games you get to
So
watch
always,
them, they're
always
always
the West,
exciting to
always the
play.
West Coast team for us.
Ian, you want to throw out a defenseman there?
The next guy I had was Dougie Hamilton.
Dougie Hamilton. Okay,
Yeah, I got Dougie on my team too.
he was probably on pace for
70.
For he was gonna challenge Hedman and Yossi for that.
the
Yossi won the Norris.
yes.
Yeah,
Yossi?
Yeah.
yeah, and
he was gonna challenge him.
he
for
was
that.
in
Carlson.
the conversation there
Yeah.
halfway through the year before he injured,
Yeah.
broken leg.
Was it his leg?
I believe so.
Oh.
Yeah, poor Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantasy team. Oh, fuck her fantasy team.
Well, that's Dougie Hamilton's pretty interesting. I didn't have him on in my top six,
He's
but
so good.
like
Fucking Dougie.
he's you can't argue with how talented he's been.
Yeah, he was my number 2.
That high. What handedness is he?
right.
Ooh, right-handed defenseman. So everyone's gonna be. You know what? Just ironically, why don't we just take a team that has all right-handed defensemen?
Nope.
Just to be like, hey guys, we
Eh,
got him.
I'm a right-handed defenseman, and I hate playing on the left side.
Um,
Growing up, if I got like put out with another right-handed defenseman on the right, and I got stuck on the left side, I was like, oh man, I am in no man's land right now.
so I'll throw one out here.
Go.
Morgan Riley.
Yeah, he was my 3rd.
Yeah, I have Riley.
He's pretty good.
People might not
Pretty good
like
player.
really think of him at first thought because of him being injured a lot last year and kind of having an off season.
A little. Well, sort of. I mean, compared to his 70 plus, I think it was 72
The year
points
before.
the year before.
Yeah, and that he's just progressively gotten better and better every season in the
I
NHL.
think
Right.
he still had high 20s in points and only played like 41 games or something.
And again, one of those guys who could.
Yeah, he almost had 30 points in 47 games.
47.
And he's on any team in the league's top pairing, basically, at least
Every
top
team.
4. Top pairing. Like he was. People were talking about him 2 years ago when he put up that 70-point season. He's like, everyone was
Well,
like, hey, at
he-
least in the Norris conversation.
He's still
'Cause that's what the
young as
trophy's
well
been.
because he was on the under 23 team for
Yeah.
during the World
Right,
Cup.
4 years ago, he was one of the older ones on that North America, but
Yeah.
he was he played a big role in that team.
I think he was playing top pairing with Parayko or something, wasn't he?
I believe so.
I think so.
I don't remember. That was a fun team to watch, though.
Absolutely. So are we sold on that? We all
Yeah,
have
I'm
Morgan
happy-
Riley
I'm
on their
happy
team.
with Morgan Riley.
Alrighty, okay. Ian, you're up.
No, Mark's up. But
Okay,
I'll
Mark,
go,
you
I'll go
wanna go?
anyways. I'll go with a vet here, Shea Weber.
Yep, I got Weber on my team.
He before this past season, I probably wouldn't have. Actually, before the last 2 seasons.
When he came back from injury season
Yeah.
and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to come back that good.
He came back like you had him in fantasy, and like just Mark every week just bringing up how good Shea Weber is.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's kind of a guy that's like Jonathan Taves in that whenever he puts on Team Canada's jersey, he wins.
Yeah,
He wins.
feeds it.
Two
Also-
Olympic gold medals and the World Cup in 2016.
He also
So
has like 105 mile per hour slap shot,
he hurts people.
and he's a big guy.
He broke the net. When was that?
Shot it through the net. That
Yeah.
was in
that was in one of the
Was that Russia or was that in Vancouver?
somewhere.
I think it was in Russia.
Russia. Those Russian manufactured webbing nets.
Oh yeah.
Right through there.
Oh, that was cool.
That was something else.
All right,
No, he was good. I'm glad he didn't go on a decline after that injury.
He is-
Because,
he
he
is-
is such a frig. Because against the Flyers in that series for Montreal, he was a friggin' force.
he is an older guy,
But it's not like it's 2 years from now.
and it's also
this,
Right, yeah.
This what we think this
he
year.
could be the 3rd pairing for all I care. I just
Sure.
think
Yeah.
he's gonna be there.
And he brings that toughness that Mark talked about that you don't
Yeah.
have a lot. You don't need a lot of right now, but if you have an element of that,
It's there without having to
Look
do it
for
on
it.
the ice.
yeah.
It's already mentally impacted in their head. It's like when you freaking see Chara on the ice, you just know you're just like, fuck me.
You want me to go? You want me to go one next? I'll go one
Yeah,
next.
Greg, you can throw.
Okay,
one
I'll throw a name out there. Drew Doughty, Stanley Cup champion. Okay, 2 Stanley Cups, Olympic gold in 2010, 2014, and the World Cup in 2016. Here's what really stood out for me. His time on ice, it has been crazy the past 3 years. 26 minutes per game. Not like we said, not that that's going to be happening on this team because it's a bunch
but
of
he's
all-stars.
playing for an abysmal friggin' Kings team.
Yes. So I feel like his stock has gone down just because of the situation he's in out in California.
Yeah.
In 2015-16, he was at 28 minutes per game, and he was at 29 minutes per game the year before that. So well over 26 minutes. Here's the most impressive stat though that I could find. It's not point related. He hasn't missed a game since 2013.
Seriously?
Yeah. He's made like 82 games consistently.
Man.
Right-handed defense. But we have our 2 right-handed guys that we said off the top, Pietrangelo and Weber. Okay. We have
Hamilton as well.
Hamilton. So Riley and Theodore on the left side.
See, I got somebody else representing my right side instead of Doughty.
Well, yeah, you have. Well, we have Weber
Ooh,
and
that's a good one. Too.
Hamilton and
Yeah.
Pietrangelo. But I mean, Drew Doughty, like
I like Mark's next guy. He's gonna bring up
sure. So what do you think about Drew Doughty?
Bubble.
Friggin', he's one of my favorite players.
Yep.
Like, watching him play, and he's
Yep.
a shit disturber on the ice as well.
Yeah.
And he brings, like, that a side of the game that I think a lot of the forwards, besides Marchand, probably only brings that kind of ratty,
Sandpapery.
dirty.
Yeah.
No, not really sandpapery, more dirtier
Okay, I
kind of
understand.
style of hockey.
Sure.
And I like that in a team, but I just don't think Doughty would fit with having a guy like, instead of Doughty, maybe less sandpapery than Weber, a little more skilled, a guy like Aaron Ekblad. Where
Okay.
since his rookie season where he won the Calder has just gotten kind of dipped a little bit. He had a few concussions in his third season.
Right.
But he's only gradually gotten better and better and better every season.
Okay.
Guy who we don't see enough because he plays in Florida.
Right. He plays in a market we don't. Just
When
like
I was
Huberdeau.
looking him up today, every underlying stat, he was almost like, he was right at the top.
Ekblad's
in the
amazing with
NHL.
those.
Holy
Yeah.
crap, man. I couldn't believe how good of a season he had last year. I had no idea.
Mhm.
He's also 6th highest Canadian defenseman in scoring last year. Did that
Ekblad
many
is.
Yeah, Ekblad was.
There you go. So we're talking about Ekblad now. What do you think about
Also,
Ekblad, Ian?
he's right. I don't know. He just,
He was a plus with Florida.
yeah, that too.
You know what? That right there.
Yeah,
As much as people don't like the plus minus stat, saying something
So,
like that is
on
a little
Florida,
bit of an exclamation mark.
I don't want to really get I've been trying to stay away from analytics, but this is probably the only guy I wanted to kind of like defend that way.
Okay. Is Aaron Ekblad.
Is Ekblad.
So, Ian, is Ekblad on your bubble?
I had him on my bubble to begin with. He probably still is on my bubble, but
Okay.
like Mark's saying, he's just continues to get better.
Yeah.
So you'll have to wait and see, basically.
Okay.
So
So, Mark, while you're looking that up, I'm just to review this. So we see Theodore, Pietrangelo, Riley, Weber, and Hamilton as locks. We seem to have Doughty. That's 5. We have Doughty and Ekblad on the short list, I guess, for the 6th and 7th spot so far.
Who's next?
Well, Mark's looking something up. He's on the internets right now,
Should have had this prepared.
doing the typey type.
How's your day?
Doing great.
oh, yeah.
How's that beer, Ian?
My beer's empty.
Oh, that's
he's just like
the worst.
when he's on the ice.
Who's he?
Ekblad.
Okay, we're talking about
still
Ekblad.
Talking about
Yeah.
Ekblad again. Oh, we're gonna go back there. Like you said, he's playing for that Florida team that gave up a crap load of goals, but
Yeah.
he's on the ice. He was on for probably 1,200 shot attempts, almost 1,300 shot attempts for, and 1,100 against for when he was on the ice last year.
Right.
Bringing him around to a 53% like Corsi thing, which is pretty insane for a defenseman.
Right.
And also, when he's controlling the puck, when he's on the ice, his team is controlling the puck almost 54% of the time.
That's more than not.
That's a lot more than not.
Especially on on Florida, who's
Ye-
a little. I mean, they're not as puck possession-y as a lot of other teams have kind of
Well,
gone
they
to
don't
be.
have the lines to be that puck possession.
No. Well, that's sort of same conversation, but not. They don't have that ability to.
Yeah, it's just like, and he's a guy who's not talked to it a lot, but I liked watching Florida play because Barkov's there, but I don't watch him enough. But friggin' Ekblad's just stands out every time he's friggin'
For
out
sure.
there.
So is he on your team or is he on the bubble?
He's on my team.
He's on the team.
He's
He's
on my
six.
team. He's on my team instead of Doughty.
Oh, instead of Doughty. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I got you. All right.
So I actually have 4 right-handed defensemen and 3 left-handed defensemen on my team.
Cool. I'll throw in another defenseman here. Thomas Chabot, Ottawa.
He's in my bubble.
Yep.
I really like him. I
Yep.
just don't think he's old enough. And
Hasn't accomplished much.
he's accomplished a lot. He's fucking carrying an Ottawa team to
Sure.
above
I'm
mediocrity.
pretty sure he averaged the most time on ice last year.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, he's
Well,
he's becoming a household name
he-
now.
He makes
He
a
will be soon.
shitty Ottawa Senators team almost above mediocre.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Almost above
honestly
mediocre.
watching him with the puck
Like
or
I hate
getting the puck is actually really fun.
I
Like,
hate that
he's
he's a Sen
fast.
because like I really like Chabot as a because
Right.
he's didn't he literally beat the Leafs by himself one time this year?
Maybe.
Could have
Didn't
happened.
he get 4 points against the Leafs this year? He got 2. I know he got 2 goals against the Leafs this year. There's a game where he absolutely just dummied the Leafs.
So you have Ekblad over Chabot right now,
Yeah, I just give the Ekblad
How
just
about-
that 2 years older.
and Doughty over Chabot.
Honestly, I have Chabot. I have Chabot over Doughty.
Okay.
I just
All right.
think like
I had Chabot as my
So-
6.
Ian, are we putting? Do you want to pencil in Ekblad as our 6th defenseman then?
So we've got Petrangelo,
it doesn't have to like
Shea
be
Theodore,
Ekblad like
Hamilton,
Yeah.
Riley, Weber,
because like I really like Chabot. I
and Ekblad.
tried the hardest to have Chabot on my team.
Right, but
That's
it's more like
6.
in a couple years, like if he continues on this
Oh, he's gonna
trajectory,
win a Norris Trophy.
he's
Well, in 22 though.
He's doing what he's doing on a shitty Ottawa team. Imagine Ottawa good.
yeah, like give him a D partner,
Like he could become better than Erik Karlsson.
maybe.
Like Karlsson prime.
Sure. Ian, do you have another guy that you want to talk about here for our blue line?
Yeah, I have another veteran guy. Giordano.
Mark Giordano. Okay.
Yeah.
Might not want him 2 years from now, but like he's been consistent the last 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
Since he's been in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah, for picking a
for
team
the last 15 years.
for a team right now, he's not. He's this.
What was
This
He
it's
was
sort of
Norris-
the
Norris
twilight.
Canada-
Norris he won the Norris that
last year?
I think it was 2 years ago.
It wasn't this past season. I
I think
know.
2 years ago. No, 3 years ago. Hedman won 2 years ago. It was 3 years ago he won it.
Yeah, so
I think
still
it was
still
3
puts
years
up
ago.
decent
I'll
numbers.
correct
Worth
myself
the
if I'm wrong.
conversation, certainly.
Definitely on my bubble.
On your bubble, okay. So, but he's not cracking your top 6.
No.
No.
He was on my team.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had him at 7 or 6.
No, he's my third pair left. He was my third left-handed defenseman.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he won the Norris in 2018,
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
That's last
and he
year.
won the Messier Leadership Award last year.
That's something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got another guy?
Me, I really wanted to take this guy too, Chris Letang. As many times, like I just feel so bad for this guy because he was like a guarantee lock. I think it was for Vancouver,
Got injured.
and he got injured early in the season. I think.
Right.
He
Every time he's had a chance to represent Canada for the Olympics or like something big, he's been injured.
It's sort of like Stamkos.
And I
kinda.
feel, even though he's a Penguin, I feel so friggin' bad for the guy because he's such a good defenseman.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. I hate that I had him on. Like, I was so happy that I'm like, oh, Letang's on my team. And then I, like, scratched him off and I was like, I feel so bad for this guy right now if this happens to him again.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely always
He's always
been
there.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always there. And it's never a matter of talent. It's always a matter of health.
Yeah, that's exactly
With
it.
him.
It's
But
never that.
That's even every playoffs are in too. It's like, is Letang playing? Because that's a difference maker.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Pittsburgh won that one cup without him, and he was injured the whole time.
That was
but
incredible.
then the year he was healthy, they friggin' steamrolled everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I had Letang on my bubble too.
So okay, here's another guy who's had a breakout season. I'll throw a name out there.
I know who you're going with.
Cal McCarr.
can we talk
Yeah.
about both guys on that team who had breakout seasons?
Sure.
Sam Girard.
He's also been a guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was almost. I just like for me, they're just not old enough. Like,
Right.
I know.
They're
Dowd- we're talking-
they're projecting upwards though.
Oh, way upwards. Way upwards. I know Doughty was a rookie at 18 when he made, or 19 or whatever, when he made the Vancouver team.
Sure.
But I just think we had less elite defensemen back
Yeah.
then.
You had,
than
you
we
had
do
less
now.
that type of defenseman.
Yes.
He brought something that was almost unique at the time.
Yes.
Well,
Was it
Niedermeyer,
Chris
of
Pronger
course,
on
but
that team?
Yeah. No, what in terms of like the way
Yeah.
defensemen were turning into like these more rovers.
yeah, more mobile rover, agile sort of. These defensemen that we take for granted nowadays.
Holy shit, we got another defenseman who can skate? Like Scott?
Yeah, basically.
That's
Right.
that's
Well,
basically
Keith was
everyone
Keith
I
was
had.
like that too.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but like there weren't many of them. They were so unique in that
Exactly.
in that aspect. You're right. And that was 10 years ago. It's hard to look back and know we were all together 10 years ago. Remember, watching some of those games and
We watched the final in your house in your
Yeah, in
basement.
the
Yeah.
basement,
Yeah.
and
I had hockey practice right after that too.
there was that was sort of the end of that big burly defenseman era. Like they're still around, like they still exist, but
But they
The
can
good ones
skate now.
exist.
the good ones
The
exist.
good ones still exist.
But it's almost like the average defenseman is no longer
No.
that.
yeah.
So that's why Doughty, I think, made the team at the time. And Cale Makar 100% is sort of trending along that line. It's just he is there's more guys to jump over.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same resume as
No.
potentially the guys on our list.
Exactly.
I think
So what do you mean? If
That's
there's a B team, he's on the
basically
B
what
team
you
in a
want.
heartbeat. But
Sure. Is there anyone else that you want to talk about for a defenseman?
I'll just name some guys, but we don't really have to talk about
Sure.
them. Just like a kind of a different player than most of these guys is I have Darnell Nurse and Jake Muzzin. Both big guys, use their body a lot.
Muzzin was on the World Cup team, no?
I
I'm
don't
not sure about
I
that.
don't remember. But
I
like
think he was.
they both
Could
aren't
been.
lacking in points either. They both play a lot of time, and they will stand in front of a shot.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Well, if you're gonna add those two guys, I'll throw in a Colton Parayko.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Parayko's a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, well, and Colton Franco has something Muzzin's got a cup,
Yep.
which, if we're what I named off some forwards earlier, and what really put them on the list for me was that they were proven winners, and if you're taking proven winners, Jake Muzzin's he's one.
Yep.
So so have some of these other guys,
Just
but
yeah, just like a different kind of player than we've really been
Sure.
looking at. That's
Yeah.
that's who I got. That's all my guys.
Cool. So, all right, on our list right now, Pietrangelo, Theodore, Riley, Weber, Hamilton, and sounds like we like Chris Letang, and sounds like we like Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, Jake Muzzin was on that World Cup team.
Yeah, I thought he was.
There you go.
So another defenseman who we left off, who was on that team,
Yep.
who's also
Yep.
been really good, is Brent Burns.
Brent Burns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked at him, but like he's
Also,
He's
was
a
third
forward.
in Canadian defenseman points last year. Well, he's probably been in the top 5 every year.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Exclusively last year, he was third in points.
Sure.
Playing on a.
I don't think he'll
I
get
don't know
looked
how that
over.
San Jose team got that mediocre that quickly, but goaltending shows how much
So,
goaltending makes
Mark,
a difference in the NHL now.
Absolutely. Well, yes, for sure. It's amazing
Because
how your
everybody
numbers
can
go
shoot
down.
a fucking puck.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
have any.
15 years ago, only like 20% of the NHL could score on the rush. Now, almost 80% of the players can shoot and score on the. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like shoot and score on the rush.
absolutely. So,
Like
okay,
Phil Kessel style, rifle all day, right along the ice from the fucking top of the circle.
of those 7 guys I named, would you take Brent Burns right now, today, over any of those 7?
He would be a bubble. Like it.
He's on the bubble, like the thing.
How's
like
he playing,
the thing is
then?
with all these
He's getting older,
defensemen,
too.
we could honestly, besides Petrangelo, you could throw all the other defensemen's name in a hat and
Yep.
just pick them one by
You're
one.
right. You're right. We're sort of arguing between, do you want a pot of gold or do you want a treasure chest also
Yeah.
full of gold? Yeah.
It's like a boat.
Yeah.
A boat could be anything. But
You mean a box?
a boat's
box.
a boat.
A box
But
could
a box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
You know how much we wanted one of those?
be. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're trying to. So is Brett Burns the next guy up then? If Chris Letang can't go, is it Brett Burns?
Doughty.
Shabbat, like it could be anybody.
That's-
Yeah, pick one.
there's
That's
a
our
lot of
job,
guys.
man. That's this episode 1. We're not saying, oh, there's a bunch maybe. We're
I'm
we're
going
picking
with the
guys
Tang just because I have a heart and I feel bad.
as
for
your
the
7th
dude.
defenseman.
Oh, as a 7th?
So Mark, we got Theodore, Petrangelo,
Yeah.
Riley,
Yeah.
Weber,
Yeah.
Hamilton,
Yeah.
Ekblad.
Ekblad,
So it's got to be a left.
and
C-
Le-
it-
Letang. You said Letang. You love Letang,
Letang's right-handed.
so you don't want Letang?
No, you can't have Letang.
Why?
Because then we only have 2 left-handed defensemen.
I thought we were going with all righties. Okay. So you don't want. Okay. So no Letang,
That's why I have Giro there.
Giordano.
Yeah.
Giordano or Doughty, probably.
Doughty's
Or
right-handed.
Doughty's a
right
right.
too, is-
Doughty's
Yeah.
right-handed.
Why do we have so many right-handed Canadians?
Well, because you guys don't want Shabbat on the team yet.
I want Shabbat was my 6th guy. I had Makar at 5 actually.
So is Shabbat's left-handed, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's Shabbat or Giordano.
and then I had Makar over both of those as well.
Makar's right-handed.
Yeah, well,
Too
Makar's
many,
just
too many
young.
right-handed guys now. Yeah, Makar's just young.
But like
I had
Fuck.
Makar over Ekblad honestly, but looking at Ekblad, he might be more of a responsible choice.
that's where I came it down to. I'm like the mistakes have already been made in Ekblad's game.
Yeah,
Like and when it's not like you're playing for 2 points. You're playing like if you lose, your tournament's potentially done.
also Ekblad's pretty big.
Yeah. Like
Yep.
that's the difference between like regular season team to like in like a international tournament. Like that loss, it's like when we were arguing about that too. That loss is so much more important, or worse, or that win is so much more important, or that one mistake is so much more like consequential. Whatever, how do you ever say that word? That like
It's a word.
you want to have the guy that's safer
Right.
in the same situation. It's like almost playing a percentage.
So you want to take. So you're trying to tell me you want to take Giordano as your 6th defenseman.
Well,
In that
he's my
left
third,
spot.
He's my yes.
Right. In that
Yes.
for that left spot.
Yes.
You know, I don't have a problem with Mark Giordano.
I don't.
Is there someone else you
He'll
want
be
there
what
instead?
38, 39 then though.
No.
No, this is this
Today,
year.
man.
This is today. Like
Oh.
if we were talking about Olympics, I wouldn't have had Giordano on the team.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
No.
Olympics this whole
Remember that time? Remember how at the start of the show I told you exactly?
I
what's
wrote
going
it down right here.
time. That was like
Look,
that was like
Ian,
over an
World
hour.
Cup, not Olympic.
Oh, okay. So that was like over an hour ago now. I'm
And-
losing my mind.
And you have the attention
Have
span of a
another beer.
goldfish.
I don't have another beer.
Ian's
Grab
getting
one from the fridge.
Ian's
Nah,
getting
I don't need
thirsty.
one.
Yeah, you do. Just
No.
grab one from the fridge. You'll nap even better.
All right, boys. I think we have it. So we'll go over this again. We'll just sort of put some lines together. We have a segment in our show. We're gonna do this every time. We have a segment in the show called the 7th inning stretch. It's sort of like an off-topic segment where one of us is just gonna go on a little bit of a tangent, and one of us is just gonna talk about something completely off-topic. So Mark's gonna set it up for us, and away we go. Take it away, Mark.
So, in 2015, one of the things I thought was the most unfair happened to the Toronto Blue Jays. Even though they did a great job in the playoffs, got to the ALCS, lost a pretty damn good series against the Royals there.
Right.
But the dome being closed, I thought was unfair because all summer the team hits tons of home runs and they get their amazing pitching, but why is the dome closed like come playoff time? One, like, you don't lose any home games like in April, May, and September when it's raining, all season as well when it's raining. So why is this team penalized for having their dome closed? Like, what's home field advantage? Like, you can't penalize the Yankees because they have a friggin' like a drift going out to right field, LeMahieu and all their other hitters on the team. But like, hey, let's penalize the Jays, who when it's a little humid in Toronto, the ball goes a little further and the pitches move a little more. Might benefit the other team too. But like, hey, let's penalize the Jays.
Thanks, Mark. Great points.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're gonna go on to goaltenders. So
Are we?
Team Canada goaltenders.
Do we even need one with this team?
We need a couple.
What if we just play with six players out on the ice the whole time?
They might score a little easily.
Yeah,
I still think having a goalie is a good idea.
probably a good idea. Yeah. So okay. So
See where
in
we can block and have shots.
so back in so for the 2016 World Cup, who were the goalies for that team?
Price, Holtby, who's the third? Was it Crawford? Corey Crawford?
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Crawford.
Okay. So and going back to
I don't know if he even played, but he
going
was
back
there.
to Sochi, it was Price starting.
Price, Luongo.
Yeah,
And when Mike Smith was finally good.
and he was really good back then.
Yeah.
Was he still a Coyote back then?
I believe
I
so.
think he only
Yeah.
played the one game though.
Yeah. So it's almost as if we have a bit of a clean slate now, right? So because Luongo's no longer around,
Fresh
Berger's no
meat.
longer around. That was 10 years ago.
Smith isn't good.
Well, besides Carey Price.
So Carey Price.
Holtby hasn't been great.
So Carey Price.
Obvious. It's
Car-
probably everyone's number
There's
one.
such a huge divide in like Canadian goalies. Like,
It's the time of the Russians, man.
yeah.
The Russian goaltender they've I don't know what they've been
Who's it,
drinking
that
over
kid
there.
The kid the Islanders have too, Sorokin or
Yeah.
whatever. Is that him?
Yes.
I
He's
recognize the
apparently
name.
really, really good.
Yeah, up and coming. But for Canada, Price is by far and away, I think, the number one.
I think everyone would just have Price. It's his to lose at this point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So okay, so if Price is in there, Price is a lock. Mark, you want to talk to us about another guy you have on your list?
So I'm gonna throw Binnington.
Okay. Right?
Recently won a cup.
Yep.
Canadian.
Yeah.
He's won a shitload of games since he's been in the NHL. Great
Sure.
winning percentage.
Yeah.
Teams just seem to win in front of him.
Yep.
And in a tournament like this, you want a goalie that wins.
You want a goalie that wins? Absolutely.
Won Game 7, shutout the Bruins in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, can't do much better than that.
Can't do much better than that at all. No. Okay. Yeah, he's on the list. Would you put him on the list, or would you want to kind of have more of a conversation about him later?
Well, I put him on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
on the
little,
list?
little bit of a
Like,
sophomore
and
slump.
with goalies, in my
That's
opinion,
true,
with
yeah.
goalies, it's what have you done for me now? And of most of the goalies in the league, he's probably done the most.
Canadian wise.
Besides winning Vezina, but
Sure.
you can't-
Canadian wise.
But when the Russians are winning all the Vezinas, you can't really blame the Canadians.
No. Are you concerned about this past year? What have you done for me lately? He won the cup 2 years ago. This
Yeah,
past
but the
year.
Blues team was still really good, and they were still winning. I
Right.
don't know where he was giving up
He was-
goals and shit. I don't
he
know if they
still
were
had,
bad
like-
goals or
he still had like close to a 9-10 save percentage.
it was. I think it was 9-12.
2.5 goals against roughly around the average of most starters.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like his 930 where he had in his rookie season.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you obviously get. It's like a
But
pitcher.
no one,
it's
no
like
one
a,
had a 930.
It's
this
like
year.
when like a stud pitcher comes in with like a slider or something that nobody can hit. Next year, like every team knows how to hit it.
Yeah.
Like young pitchers usually don't come in and throw too good like after their rookie season. They don't come in and throw gas again next year. Teams have watched a shitload of video on you. You get figured out. That's probably what happened to Binnington. I expect him to bounce back next year. And
Right.
have probably better numbers. Probably closer to 919 save percentage,
Sure.
918.
And this World Cup would have already happened, wouldn't have?
Oh, it's
But in terms of Canada
Basically
goalies and what have
happening
you
right now.
given me recently, I say Binnington is probably second to Price.
Okay.
But Price is just there because he's fucking Carey Price.
because he's Carey Price, and he just
Did you watch him in this past playoffs?
Yeah,
as well?
he almost stole that series against the Flyers.
and
Thank
he
God
did
Carter
steal
Hart
that
was
series
good.
against Pittsburgh.
So Ian, next goalie
Yeah,
up. Do you want to talk about?
The next young guy,
Yeah.
Mark's boy, Carter
Carter
Hart.
Hart.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, those were my three
Yeah.
that I had, top three.
Mark, you want to tell us about Carter Hart, or Ian, you want to tell us about Carter Hart?
Oh, he's had great numbers coming into like Philly went through 7 goalies before they decided to play him last year.
Oh, and how
Something like that.
when did I say Carter Hart should be playing? Probably after the first one got injured.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad they kept Brian Elliott though.
they didn't make the playoffs last year either.
No,
In
well,
the 2018-2019.
no, they didn't. But,
But
they
they-
almost as soon as they started playing Carter Hart, I think they missed the playoffs by like 3 or 4 points
Yeah,
that year.
they-
It was
was
almost
close.
it was almost kind
They
of
went
like a
on a
Jordan
tear.
Bennington story.
Yeah.
They
but
as soon as they started
except
playing
for
the
he
young
didn't,
kid.
he didn't come in early enough.
No.
No. But it was kind of similar.
He had
To Bennington.
pretty good
Oh,
numbers this past season
He's
too.
so good, and he was a
And-
treat to watch in that friggin' playoffs.
But
In the
he's-
playoffs, he definitely stole a couple games for them.
Sure.
They
He
Philly,
choked a few times because he
yeah, but
fucked up a
Philly
few
was
times 'cause he
struggling
mad, yeah.
scoring.
Yeah, because they didn't fucking shoot the puck from the point.
Okay, that's not the point.
They're like,
The
oh,
point is,
let's just
is
try and
Hart
get these
stole
nicest
some
things.
games for him.
As soon
Hart
as Mark
stole some
starts
games.
yelling, "Hey, shoot the puck from the point!" They get these tip shots. on him.
Also a young guy too, though.
Yep.
So like those two, both Bennington and Hart, young.
Over the next 10 years, maybe, though, that's probably the future
Yeah,
of Canada's
that's the future
goaltending.
of
It could
Canada
be.
goaltending.
It
right
could
there,
be.
probably.
Very much so.
Man, could
Another
be a couple Stanley Cup previews in the future.
Well,
That'd be awesome. to
both
see.
maybe.
of them, yeah.
Maybe. Well, I mean, if Bennington's already won one, but I mean, another one, certainly.
Yeah,
Uh,
Philadelphia winning another one would be sweet, man.
and Carter Hart. Well, Carter Hart, they got the guy in place to do it. So let's see if he does. I'm
Oh,
gonna throw
yeah.
out another name. I'll throw out another name. Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he was
another
on
one.
my bubble list. Sorry, Ian.
No, he was my first bubble guy as well.
Why is that?
He's wins.
Means
He does win.
won cups.
Wins cups.
Exactly. I think he's also a
He was
character
on the
guy.
he was on the 2010 actually Vancouver team.
Yes.
He was the third goalie behind Broder and Luongo, but those are two guys to be okay to be behind.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'd be down to play third fiddle to those two fuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Give me a free gold medal, guys.
Maybe not like to Broder's acting skills and those like fucking car commercials.
Discount.
but-
Enterprise?
yeah.
Oh man.
But, but me and playing goalie, yeah, I'd be down to play behind him.
And you know what? He's always got a smile on his face. He seems like he's a good teammate.
Exactly. If you're away for a couple weeks, you guys
Also
you
veteran.
want the guys you're gonna bring the team boys the closest together.
Right.
Like,
So you don't have Fleury supplanting Bennington or Hart, though, do you?
well, I
you-
think
you
he'd
could
be
see
there
it.
over Hart because Bennington's has shown me more than what Hart has recently, just because he's won.
Yeah.
Okay.
What have you done for me?
Yeah.
Sure.
And when it comes to goalies, that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. Sure. So you guys okay with those three then? Do you want Fleury?
Uh,
I'm okay with
I
Bryce
like
Hart and
Fleury.
Bennington.
I also like Holtby, even though his numbers were off. But
Okay.
like he's won recently as well.
I
He's
didn't even write down. Holtby.
also
Need to die. To be honest.
also like he's gonna be the guy, probably the third goalie, the guy sitting in the press box. Seems like a really good teammate in Washington.
Right. Okay.
Like it looked like a lot of people, like
I-
a lot of teammates were upset that he friggin' like went to the Rangers.
Canucks.
Canucks, yeah, sorry, fuck.
Can I?
Yeah,
Can I,
because Lundqvist left the Rangers. he
can I
went to
Yes.
throw a
Canucks,
guy out
yeah.
of right field here?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
by right field, I mean like OB kind of
Ian,
thing.
you
Yeah.
can't throw because of your shoulder.
Yeah,
Just
I know,
say you're
but-
gonna bowl something.
Yeah, yeah. But Bernier
Jonathan Bernier.
Jonathan Bernier.
had pretty good numbers playing with by far the worst Detroit
But he
team
thinks
I
that
have
Nelson
seen in
Mandela
my life.
is a great NHL player.
That doesn't matter. To play goalie, you don't need to know who Nelson Mandela is.
Yeah,
Wow. That is definitely out of line. I thought you were gonna come in maybe with somebody
No,
else.
he had really
no.
good
This
numbers
was
in Detroit
this was
last year.
he had like a 9-10 save
Like you
percentage.
can probably blame him because that's why they didn't get the first overall
he had
pick.
he had like a 2.7 goals against playing on Detroit.
Compared to was Howard bad or was Bernier just
Howard
really good?
was by far trash. I think Howard had one win.
But is that how bad the team was?
It could have been,
And Bernier
Or-
was just out of his mind.
but like Bernier still had like a
Bernier
terrible
was
record.
great.
He had
He didn't
like,
have a great record.
he was
great,
15 and
like,
22.
underlying numbers.
15 and 22.
yeah.
But
Okay.
He won 15 games for Detroit though.
yeah,
And he freaking fucked up that first overall pick for you guys.
no, it didn't.
No, they still finished last.
They still finished
Oh, yeah.
dead
You
last,
can't
and they
do much
got
better than that.
screwed.
I think Bernier is an interesting one. I
How
don't
does
know
that
if he
make you feel
supplants
still?
Bennington.
Oh no,
Hart,
no,
or Price.
I'm just throwing something.
Just throwing stuff out there. Well, if we're throwing stuff out there, maybe let's throw out somebody like
Luongo?
Matt Murray.
Commander of no.
You had Matt Murray.
We
See,
literally
I
had-
had Yari.
Okay, we have a guy in our fantasy hockey league that had his name was Matt Murray's trash.
Yeah. And he's
Where-
won a cup recently.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But-
So is Yari.
Yeah. I still think he's worth a conversation. He's
worth
a
the
guy.
conversation,
Yari,
but, like,
Yari's a young guy. He had great numbers this year as well. I don't know
Mhm.
how Murray's were in comparison.
we'll see
not
what
as
Murray
good.
can do in Ottawa.
They didn't play as
I would-
much, obviously.
I think you know
Yeah.
what. There's a couple guys. There's a couple guys. So Murray.
Because like it's nice playing in front of Pittsburgh.
If we're talking 2020, no. If we're talking 2022, maybe.
It depends if we're talking 2020. So I don't think Murray's on the team. I just think he's worth a conversation.
Yeah.
He's won a cup just like some of the other guys we talked to. And again, I made that a priority when I was building my list. So worth a conversation.
If he makes Ottawa a better team, he
I
he
think
jumps right up the list.
I think he has a huge opportunity in Ottawa. And again, exactly him. There's a couple other guys that switched teams recently that based in their new home with a young team, a young upcoming team, they can absolutely make a name for themselves. Taylor Hall might be another one of those guys. We didn't talk about him, but beside an elite player in Jack Eichel, I think Taylor Hall has the opportunity. Is he going to? That's a different conversation, but he certainly has put himself in a position.
Aren't we talking about goalies?
We are, but I'm just saying that
Yeah, yeah,
Murray has an opportunity in Ottawa similar
I see
to
you guys both have one more guy on
Taylor
your
Hall.
list that I don't.
Darcy Kemper,
Darcy Kemper's on my list. Not on the top, near the
but
bottom.
his numbers have been the best when he's been healthy in the NHL. Like, well, probably not the NHL, but they've been friggin' ridiculous.
But why have people
Really
not heard of him,
ridiculous.
Mark?
I don't know. He
What
had that
team
one
does he
good
play
stint.
for?
What team does he play for, Ian? Why
Well-
haven't people heard of him?
I remember watching.
No one
the-
watches
he-
Arizona.
Arizona Coyotes.
He started in Minnesota. He played that one playoff game. I think he stole a win or played really good that
Yeah, but
game
you're
for
playing
Minnesota.
behind
And then he
Devin
got
Dubnyk
traded to
there.
LA, right?
Was he in Los Angeles?
I
I
think
don't
he was playing
remember.
in LA, and then he went to Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been dynamite in Arizona.
He's been incredible in Arizona.
Great numbers playing on a really bad team.
Yeah, they're not a team
they-
that can win
They
without
made the
goaltending.
play-ins, so they're not
He's
that
always
bad.
in like he's always sitting there in fantasy leagues too. Because I think everybody's so afraid to just take guys from Arizona because nobody knows what the hell that team is going to do that game.
Yeah, he's one of those wild horses.
Sure, but if you put him in net behind a team like the one we built here, what could that do?
Yeah, but
Uh,
there's better
well,
goalies.
But are they better?
Yeah,
Are they
yeah,
better?
that's true. Yeah, could be great playing in front of this team.
Oh, I was correct. He was in Minnesota and then LA and then Arizona.
How long was he in LA for?
It's probably half a
19
season.
games.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he was in there for a minute.
Yep. Guess what his record was in LA?
Was it good?
15-4.
Take a guess.
500.
Take a guess.
I did.
500.
We both did. I said
was-
15-4.
He was 10-1
Oh wow!
with 3 overtime losses. I
I think
guess.
I said 19 games.
Yikes!
He played in 19 games, started 15.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
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 yeah,
okay,
yeah. So
yeah,
he came in relief. I understand.
210, 932.
That's
210, 9,
Those are pretty good
32.
numbers.
And what year was that in
that was
LA?
probably 3 years ago.
2017, 2018.
Okay. Man,
Yeah, good numbers.
Darcy Kemper,
Yeah, dark horse.
dark horse. Like
So, since 2013.
Also been in the
I'll
league a
list
lot
his save
longer.
percentages
Yes.
from 2013. 916 with Minnesota, 6 games. 915, 26. 905, 31 games. 915 with Minnesota in 21 games, 6-7 record. Friggin' 902 with Minnesota, 18 games, and then his crazy one with the Kings.
so
then
that was an outlier then.
Then he got traded to Arizona the same year.
yeah.
He was 2-6 with 898,
Ouch.
899.
Oh,
Arizona was bad that year though. And
Okay.
then since he's been to Arizona, after that 925 the year before and 928 last year.
925 and 928
Yeah.
the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
that's. I mean, so basically, he's
That's
not a
better.
young guy anymore.
No,
But he's over the past couple years, he's been. Those are pretty good numbers.
those are very good
It's
numbers.
30.
I don't think. Has he done enough for you? I mean, he's an interesting conversation again.
He's just new. It's like
It's someone
it's
no
a
one
guy
would
who
think
hasn't
about.
been a part of the club before.
Right.
He's new.
Yeah,
So is Carter Hart and so is Jordan Binnington.
yeah, but those are
But
guys
they all
that actually.
they all were on
Yeah.
the junior teams and shit like that though.
Mhm.
Kemper is like who the hell is
Bennington
Moop?
wasn't on a junior team, was he?
I don't know.
I don't think
Hart
so.
had Hart for sure.
Yeah,
Hart
Hart
definitely
was.
was.
Yeah.
but-
Are you guys happy with Price, Hart, and Bennington?
Yeah, but
All right,
it's nice
cool.
we got a little bit in depth with goalies though.
Well, I think that's
because like I thought
I didn't
Friggin'
think we'd have
flirt-
as
I
much
thought-
to talk about.
it'd be just set, but man,
there's more there than you think there
yeah.
is. If you dive deep enough and just don't listen to some of the all the let's say radio stations or TV things, you dive a little bit deeper into some of these.
Yeah, you
into
listen
some
to
of
us.
these numbers.
Us.
Okay, so Mark, you want to get into some coaches? I think we might as well pick 3 coaching staff. It's not going to be a big debate just the same way, but there's 3 coaches that really
Mike Babcock.
3 coaches that really stand out.
Definitely not Mike Babcock.
Okay, so
So my coach,
yeah,
you'll like him.
sure,
Great guy.
yeah.
Seth Rogen.
Oh, okay.
Kind of laughs like that too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so 3 coaches here that I have had incredible success. Joel Quenneville.
Good guy.
Can't argue with that, really.
He's
Yeah.
got that meme where he's holding his dick on the fucking over the bench.
No, I mean
You never seen that?
that's not specifically why I picked him.
You've seen it.
I don't think so. You're not gonna find it.
Stanley Cup champion.
Cooper?
John Cooper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he's a
And-
good coach.
and also Stanley Cup champion Barry Trotz.
Yeah,
So,
he's a good coach too.
Those are 3 Stanley Cup guys.
Where was Trotz this year? That was Islanders.
Islanders.
Yeah,
All Jack
look what he
Adams.
did.
And look what he did. And before that, Washington.
And people were always
For the cup.
saying when Islanders were playing that their Trotz is just out coaching the other team.
Yes, and that's who you want. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which of those guys is the head coach for me.
Yeah,
Does
and
it
there's probably
matter?
some other guys still you could throw in, but with a team like this, you really don't need coaching.
You need a guy to tell the guys what to do.
You need someone to
Keep
tell
them in line.
No, just
Make sure
tell
they're on the same
someone,
page.
Someone to tell them when
Which
to go
lines up?
out on the ice.
All right, boys. Oh, I think there's a little bit
You
more.
gotta
to
find
that.
who's gonna be the best like uncle.
So, do you guys want to put some lines together real quick?
Of who
We'll-
we
we'll
have?
put, we'll take the players and we'll just put
Yeah,
some
sure.
lines
That's
together.
kind of how I set my team up. Was kind of base how. I
Great,
was
okay, so-
going around lines.
Again, so we're going with those 3 goalies. We're going Carey Price. We picked Carter Hart
So-
and Jordan Binnington.
So
Hold on,
sorry,
I'm gonna
alright.
just read out the forwards that we're gonna
No,
pick from.
we've already read
Okay.
them out.
You guys
yeah,
good to go with them?
Yeah, we know who our 13 are.
Perfect. Great. Let's start. Go ahead.
So are we gonna go tell like? I'll
Well-
tell my first line and then he'll tell his first line.
We'll just build the lines as we go.
So my first line is McDavid centering Huberdeau McKinnon.
McDavid with Huberdeau and McKinnon.
I
Yes.
can get behind that.
Is it fair to put McKinnon and McDavid on the ice at the same time?
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. There's probably the only
Is
other
it
person
fair?
that can keep up with McDavid.
No. Well, I think there can be a lot to be said about that. You have to put speed with speed. I think. Otherwise, you're not
There's
you're not
there's-
maximizing the results.
Well, there's a couple other guys you can put with that too. Would be like
Sure.
Point can hang with them as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Um,
But the thing with Point is that I don't
Another
think-
guy who didn't make the team, Barzell, could hang with them speed wise.
Sure. How about? I mean,
But like I like that first line.
Who would you have? What would be your first line?
I think it'd
again?
be cool to have Crosby with. You just do the Nova Scotia line
Crosby back with his boys.
with McKinnon and Marchand.
That'd be neat. That'd be so like
But then-
nostalgic for them.
Yeah.
But then you're taking Bergeron away from Marchand.
Yes.
And you know that works.
And you're also taking Bergeron from like potentially playing center, but it
That's true.
doesn't really matter
That's
with this
true.
team.
Who played center when Crosby, Bergeron,
I think they just played till the.
and Marchand?
I think they just played the face off to the.
Crosby was the
Man,
center
with those
technically.
those 3 guys on the ice, man, it doesn't matter. They just play hawk. They just play from
yeah.
instinct.
So-
Crosby was the center, but I think you're right. I
Those
think
guys are just playing from instinct.
I still like that first line that Mark said though.
Huberdeau, McDavid, and McKinnon.
Yes.
All right, I'm down. Who is so that leaves Crosby? I'd assume as your second line center.
Yeah.
Probably.
Who you putting on his wing?
I'll probably just stick with the 2016 World Cup, the dominant line of Crosby, Marchand, and Bergeron.
That was
That
fascinating
was
though.
it was such a dominant line.
It was incredible. However, Mark said Mitch Marner with those 2 guys earlier.
Yeah, I know he did, but
that's kind of
I
interesting.
think
Marner.
Marner can play with anyone basically.
I think so too. So you like that Bergeron and
Yeah, I kind of like that. I agree.
Also,
Because Bergeron, Marchand play Pasternak, and Pasternak's more a true goal scorer compared to what Marner is.
I could see Stone being on Crosby's line.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Did they play together at some point?
No.
I don't
I-
believe so.
I don't know why. I felt like he would be good on his right side.
Probably.
Yeah, but like
Sure.
you put anyone on Crosby's line, and they'd probably be pretty good.
That's proven.
Yeah,
I believe
Yeah.
that's a proven.
So are we going with
fact.
the World Cup line?
I
I
like the World Cup.
I don't
line.
think anybody will argue with that.
I feel like
Okay.
why would you screw with something that works?
Okay, so Huberdeau, McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Marchand, Bergeron. Mark, we'll post these on Twitter as well. We'll
Who's
just post
who's our next center? You want to start with that?
Sure. Who do you want to center next? You got Stamkos can play center.
I would
Taves
say
can
like
play
the
center.
Tampa boys
Point,
on the next line.
Point Stamkos.
Point Stamkos and maybe Stone actually with them.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
wait,
like
wait.
that.
Stamkos right as well, because that would be 3 right wingers or 3 right-handed shots.
Point Stamkos. You know what, Ian? This is why we have coaching staff. We're just hypothetical. We're upstairs. We're picking the team. We're just putting lines together that might work. It's up to the coaches to really figure this out.
Yeah, I think you need a left-handed shot with
With those two boys,
Stamkos and Point.
O'Reilly.
What if you put Jonathan Taves there?
Ooh, maybe
O'Reilly or Taves would probably be a great center for those two guys,
Taves with Point and Stamkos.
or O'Reilly. Yeah, I think O'Reilly's a better.
Actually, didn't O'Reilly grow up playing with Stamkos?
Oh, in like the GTHL
Yeah.
in Toronto.
Yeah.
Might have.
Oh, that rings a bell.
I think they did.
That'd be crazy.
Well, we
They probably definitely played tournaments together.
We'll pencil those.
We'll pencil O'Reilly between Crosby and Point.
Okay, so
No,
that
Stamkos
leaves
and Point. Yeah.
Stamkos, Point, and O'Reilly. So
Yeah.
We got
that leaves Scheifele, Marner,
Taves.
Taves, and
Stone.
Stone.
Yeah, that's 2 right wingers.
Yep.
And 2 centers.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Why? Okay, wait. I want to look back now
Yeah.
to that first line. Why is McKinnon on your right side?
It's right-handed.
Okay.
He
I was just wondering.
is-
And you just like Huberdeau on the left?
Yeah, I like Huberdeau on the left.
Yeah, Huberdeau's a left
Unless you
winger.
want to put
I know
McKinnon,
Huberdeau's a
unless
left.
you want to put McKinnon at
McKinnon's
center,
right.
and like Stone up there.
Like Huberdeau, McDavid, Stone?
Yeah. But I just think you put the 2 fastest players on the team.
But,
on
like,
the
if you
same
did that,
line, and
It's silly.
If you
It's
did
silly.
Huberdeau, McDavid, Stone, then you'd have McKinnon. McKinnon could center the Tampa boys, Stamkos and Point. You have a guy that can skate with McKinnon there.
McKinnon's right-handed as well, though.
Oh, that's 3 righties again. See, why do we have so many righties on this team?
There's
Shut
a lot.
up, you
There's a
fucking
lot of them.
lefties!
Yeah.
There's finally more of me.
I
remember.
Man.
Fuck, I remember. You know how like you never have like enough right-handed defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
Remember growing up, like SHA, my friggin' Lions team the one year, we only had 1 left-handed defenseman. All of us were right-handed.
I don't know. I never really looked at it like that.
It's
It's because
ridiculous.
you're a goalie.
Yeah, I never
Oh, it was
really.
nuts.
Just
Well,
do your
'cause
job.
Then we're
you
arguing
idiots.
because, like I told you earlier, we hated playing on the friggin' left side.
Well, there you go. Okay, so listen, if we had to throw a 4th line together here, I know you got to pick one guy to sit out. One of those 4.
Well, it'd be probably one of the right wingers.
Yeah.
Or, no, actually, I don't think it would. It'd probably be...
Who do you want to center? Taves?
So my fourth,
Scheifele plays center.
Scheifele and Taves play center.
my
Your 4th line... You
And
had,
O'Reilly's on the left
my
side.
4th line on
Oh, sorry.
my,
O'Reilly's on
the way
on the 3rd line
on the
here.
team I had was O'Reilly centering Taves and Stone.
As your 4th line?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got O'Reilly and Stone, who are 2 elite, just shutdown players in general, point
Sure.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that as sort of the shutdown idea. Maybe
And
with like
Jonathan Taves is friggin' Jonathan Taves.
you
He
can put
does
Jonathan Taves in
everything.
between those guys.
Jonathan Taves will just do what you tell him.
So Taves, O'Reilly, and
So-
Stone.
would you then want Scheifele up instead of O'Reilly with the Tampa boys, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I'm
Sure.
good with that.
And then O'Reilly back with Taves and Stone.
O'Reilly.
But then Marner's the odd man out right now. Which isn't-
Marner's the
13th forward.
would probably be the 13th forward.
Yeah, and he can also slot in. And
Marner can slot in. Marner
Go in, you can go anywhere.
Marner would be on that team as like a power play specialist.
So, boys,
Like he's like a do everything kind of guy.
yeah.
you want to go D pair? Just run through D pairs real quick.
Well,
D pairs are just
They
hard,
they almost make themselves.
yeah.
It's almost like you have Theodore Petrangelo play together the same way
you just
Pronger and
assume-
Niedermeyer played together in Anaheim. You just sort of keep them together. You assume they're going to play together in Vegas. I know that we're putting a team together right now.
well,
we
and
haven't
same
seen
with
them.
Petrangelo and
Even though they
Bouwmeester.
haven't played a game together, you just assume they're going to play together.
Right. I feel like a combination of like Riley and Weber would be
Yeah.
fun. It's like
You
so
got
much
the,
fun
you
to
got
watch.
the speed with the size.
And then you put Ekblad.
Giordano
Yeah.
Or
Or
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Well,
You
then
can-
they got two rights.
You can have that.
Because you got to have Giordano playing. Well, you don't have to, but just
Well, he's
have
your
right,
third
left,
left.
right, left.
Yeah,
right,
he's your
left.
third left guy. So you put Giordano with.
Either Ekblad or Hamilton, and that's not a bad thing.
Yep. There you go. Cool. All right. So we'll post that on Twitter. We'll post the lines on Twitter. And but again, the lines aren't really as important, or
As
the
the
combinations
team,
as the team
no.
itself, because it's up to the coaching staff. That'll
No, it
change
just makes
period
it
to
easy
period.
to read, though.
Just
too.
make exactly. It's good for presentation if they're divided into lines.
Oh, so we're gonna get all
Yep.
sensual and talk like this. Coming
Okay.
up next, Greg has a talk about what you should do when you have problems.
Boys, let's wrap this up right
Tune
now.
in at 8.
We're going to
Not
we're gonna
literally.
we're gonna end this one here, and so we're gonna throw to the last minute of play. This conversation, off the top, I told you this conversation was important to the three of us, and it's been important because back in March, when the world shut down, this was the first conversation I remember having with Ian and Mark that felt normal. This was the first conversation I remember having that didn't involve case numbers, unemployment, or the stock market crashing. This is before any of the major networks, websites, or whoever spun these lists of our favorite players through the typical news cycle and shared their hand-picked, curated, professional opinions all over Twitter and Instagram and in your family TV room. This is before all that. So the three of us were just winging it, kind of like we did now, except we were doing it back in March. So that was just off the top of our heads, no notes. So that's really why we wanted to make this episode 1. That's why this topic was important to us. So everybody, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand